Have you ever reacted to something in the heat of the moment just to later on regret it? That is because emotional intelligence plays a big role in the way that we communicate, we influence others, and we make decisions. But good news, we can develop that just like any other muscle in our body. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is the ability for us to understand how we're feeling, at the same time, understand how others are feeling, and the correlation on how those two emotions influence each other. And that applies to every area of our life. If you are working in sales, let's say you are a real estate agent, and you are communicating with your prospects, the people that are looking to purchase a house. The way you communicate with them and understand their emotions is going to enhance your ability to tailor what they are looking for. And what that means is that some people think that humans are logical. We like to think we're logical, but in fact, we are emotional creatures. And we make decisions based on how we feel, and then we go to work on finding a way how we can justify with numbers or reasons why we did that. There are 4 key components to emotional intelligence. Number 1, self-awareness. Number 2, self-management. Number 3, social awareness. And number 4, relationship management. They are quite simple to understand. Self-awareness is us recognizing how we feel, what triggers our emotions. Self-management is the way we control our impulses. Social awareness, understanding the emotions of others. Relationship management, that is managing the emotions of others to resolve conflicts. As I mentioned in the beginning, this is a muscle that can be developed. And these are some tools that I've used to help me overcome and understand. Number 1 is I like to journal. And journaling, sometimes, especially if you are a guy, sometimes we are not so in touch with our emotions. Can be a thing that sometimes can be looked down on. But journaling doesn't mean you sitting down, dear diary. This is not what that means. It just means you need to voice it out. You need to find a way to call it out and see it. For myself, I have a hard time sitting down and writing down how I feel. What I do, I save a message, a voice message to myself. I use one of the applications I can find for voice recording, and I say how I felt about today. I say how I felt about this interaction. I say to myself things that I would never say in public, perhaps because I might feel embarrassed about saying those things in public, or perhaps I feel I'll be judged or those things. But I do say those things to get it out of my system. So journaling helps you really understand why you feel the way you feel and also addressing those things. Mindfulness and reflection is a physiological aspect of it, what you can do to control yourself. Meditating, breathing, and all these things. My son, Marcos, when he was in school, I believe he was in grade 2, grade 3 maybe, he was having a hard time in school. He was losing control of his emotions. And one of the things that I helped him do was how to take a deep breath, how to breathe in when he felt that he was losing control, and even exclude himself from the crowd so he can breathe and regain his control. So mindful actions can help you control emotions. Active listening. Active listening is that we are actually not just hearing others, but we're actually trying to understand how they feel. And what that means is sometimes the word they are saying is not really what they mean. Therefore, we really need to find how others are feeling just by the way they are saying things. Practice empathy. Empathy is a fantastic tool because it actually puts us on the shoes of the other person. And therefore, we can kind of understand a bit where they are coming from and what's making them feel that way. Therefore, you can approach the situation with this in mind. Feedback and adaptability. Let me give you an example. Let's say if you're sitting down with a client, this client wasn't happy about the way something went. Perhaps they say, no, I'm not going to be your client. It is okay for you to say, please, I'd like to learn a bit more. And just by asking these questions, people really tell you how they feel. And you really understand and you can apply for the future. Now, there are ways how you can actually go and test this out in the next 24 hours. Perhaps there is a coworker which you have conflicts with. I can tell you that most of the times conflicts are not based in something tangible, but again, how people feel about things. Let's say if there is somebody who they have not been nice to you at work, something that you can practice is be upfront, emotionally level, not compromise, but emotionally level, and can ask him, hey, I understand that I upset you. And for that, I am so sorry. Although that you might not feel like you haven't done anything wrong, but if you come up front like this, and whatever it is, I am so sorry. Coming up and apologizing for something that you do not understand can be a tough thing. But I can tell you, just by doing that, automatically, the other person is going to start seeing you as a human. Instead of seeing you as an antagonist, is going to see you as a human. And therefore, they'll be more open with the emotions and communicate with you how they truly feel. Now, I will give you an example why emotional intelligence is the one thing that can make or break everything that you do in life, from business, relationships, success, you name it. There was this gentleman back in the Dominican Republic. He became quite successful entrepreneur. He have developed a bunch of sports betting places, and he was doing really good, very wealthy guy. One day, he's leaving his fancy apartment, and as he's going to leave his parking lot to drive his Ferrari away, there is somebody blocking the driveway. He gets out of the car. He gets in a heated argument with this person, and this nobody pulled a gun and shot him over there. He lost his life. He lost his businesses. He doesn't exist anymore, all because he decided to just lose control of his emotions and go to argue and fight. I know that is extreme, but sometimes we have to know that when we are not in control, we can make mistakes that we regret. And sometimes there's no coming back from those things. One tip I will give you, and this is something that I apply myself, my daily life. If something really upsets me, I will not handle it at that moment. If something really upsets me, I will not handle it at that moment. Give it 24 hours. If it's 24 hours, once you have calmed yourself, I can tell you that your approach will be more logical, you'll be more empathetic, you're going to be more focused on solutions of the conflict rather than me focusing on I am right and you did me wrong. And your chances of fixing the conflict will increase drastically. This is something that we need to continue to work for the rest of our lives. This is something that's going to benefit our relationship with our kids, our relationship with our spouses, our relationship with the community as a whole. It's going to affect how our business operates. It's going to affect how our employees, how our agents. This affects absolutely everything. You could be the smartest person on the planet. If you do not have control of your emotions, it will be pretty tough to work with others. And guess what? Without others, we don't make it very far. We need help for everything. Even this video being recorded right now, I have my 9-year-old son Marcos recording it. So even I need his help. Everybody needs help. So in the currency that we need to pay to be able to collaborate and work with others is having emotional intelligence. All right, champs, this was episode 8 of Maple and Mango. I can tell you that I am very excited about sharing these messages. Please share this with somebody that can benefit from this. Share, like, all of the above. Let's hit more communities. Let's go.